And we begin tonight with that blast that rocked Orion Township, leaving 2 people injured and dozens displaced from their homes. Thank you so much for joining us for 7 News Detroit at 6. I'm Carolyn Clifford.
And I'm Mike Duffy. Chopper 7 was over the aftermath of the blast earlier today. You can see just how crazy this scene was last night after the blast happened. Well, late this afternoon, we got an update from officials on the investigation.
The Orion Township Fire Chief says 18 units were destroyed and another 12 units are being questioned. Cause of the blast is still under investigation, and it will likely take more than a week to get preliminary investigation and information.
This morning, it was a combined effort between the Orion Township Fire Department's Fire Prevention Division, the County Sheriff's Department Arson Investigation, ATF, and multiple other agencies in order to 3D map the scene to be able to collect all the initial evidence that we're going to need in order to rebuild and reconstruct.
Nearly 24 hours later, the Orion Township community is rallying around each other. 7 News Detroit reporter Sarah Michaels is live there tonight.
And Sarah, you were able to talk to an Amazon driver about the moment he jumped into action to help save lives. Tell us about that.
Well, Mike, Carolyn, you know, our team spent the entire day working to find this Amazon driver that this whole neighborhood is talking about. When we did finally find him in true hero fashion, he did not want to go on camera, but he did agree to tell his story over the phone.
He's a hero. He's the first guy who jumped in, so.
We grabbed him like that and then carried him out.
What did you think when you saw that?
That was pretty heroic.
Wednesday, neighbors throughout the Keatington Newtown condominiums, all talking about a mysterious Amazon delivery driver who ran into the flames Tuesday night, working to rescue victims.
To go into that not knowing, if anything else was going to explode, I mean, he definitely put his life, in danger.
No one knew exactly who he was, but they knew how his heroic actions made them feel.
My mom had to run back in and get her purse, and the Amazon person was standing right there, and I was crying because I was really scared. And then he came over and held my hand and told me it was all okay.
After a full day of searching, our team did find the hero. Too humble to go on camera, Chris Bissonette agreed to talk with me over the phone.
I just keep imagining the explosion and just seeing. I can smell burnt hair.
Bissonette shared that he was delivering packages to the neighborhood when he saw the explosion happen around 7 Tuesday night. He looked up and he saw an older gentleman, clothes half burned off, standing in the middle of the disaster.
I moved some debris around and picked him up by one leg and grabbed his back and carried him out of there and got him to the side of the curb. And then I ran around trying to help the other lady.
After making sure that everyone was okay, he tried to drive off unnoticed.
That's when the other residents saw me and started talking to me, and I told them what happened. They started calling me a hero.
How did that make you feel to hear that from the residents, that they see you as a hero?
Awkward. I didn't know how to accept it, and I felt weird.
But extremely deserving. A day later, Bissonette, like many of the residents here, is still working through the catastrophe that happened at these Orion Township condominiums. In the end, he tells me he simply did what he knew was right.
It feels as though it was meant to be that you were there.
Yeah. God keeps putting me in weird position. The right spots, I guess.
The right place at the right time. Bissonette tells me that he would love to reconnect with those that he helped to save from this disaster. He hopes to do so in the coming days. Reporting live in Orion Township, Sarah Michaels, 7 News Detroit.
That is so very cool. So glad you caught up with him, and certainly a hero to all of those people. And I can't wait. I'm sure you'll be the one to find him in person, connecting with those people. Just a beautiful story. So glad he was there. Thank you so much, Sarah, for the live report. Mike?
All right, well, this is a map of the condo that was destroyed. Take a look at just how big that blast radius really was. Now, the Orion Township Fire Chief tells us they found debris up to 300 yards away. To give you some perspective on just how big that actually is, that's like 3 football fields in each direction spread out across that entire explosion area. Clearly, a huge blast. Now, while we don't have much information right now on what actually caused the blast, I reached out to Paul Fillmore, a Detroit-based fire and explosion investigator, for some insight.
What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear about something like this happening?
So from a technical point, I'm thinking of opened valves, possibly a cracked gas line. Those are the most common causes that we find. Sometimes people move gas appliances; they don't properly cap off the line, and that can lead to issues as well. If you do notice an odor of gas, don't ignore it. Don't open the windows and just wait for it to dissipate. Contact the utility.
While not common, Paul told me that he personally sees about 4 or 5 cases like this every year. He says it will likely take about a week to 10 days for the initial inspection, and then there will be more that follow that.
Yeah, it's just so much work and amazing. And I know they called it a miracle that nobody was killed because, when we saw that even last night, it is certainly incredible. We want you to stay with 7 News Detroit for continuing coverage as investigators search for answers in the aftermath of this explosion. We'll have the very latest developments right here on 7 and, of course, at WXYZ.com.